You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Redneck Island After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Redneck Island After Show.
Creek swimming, moonshine sipping, deer skinning, beer drinking, Johnny Cash listening.
I do really like this song.
Yeah, I know it's perfect.
It's addictive. It's catchy.
It is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special episode of Redneck Island for you today. We are here to discuss episode 8, which was titled The Shady Burrito. Excellent name. But before I get started, I have to tell you, for the listeners that are listening to our podcast, there is a very special guest sitting next to me. And if I may be so bold to do the introduction, with me today is the Texas Rattlesnake himself. He is the biggest name in professional wrestling, 6-time WWE World Champion and executive producer of the show that we are talking about right now. Hands together for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hey, thank you guys. I feel right at home over here.
Thank you.
You got a bunch of city slickers talking about Redneck Island. I love this.
City slickers.
You know, it's funny because the PP Boys aren't here, and the PP Boys are a husband and husband team from Beverly Hills, and they're in reality shows all over the place right now, but they've been consistently on this show talking about what they're watching, and they can't be here today, but maybe we can get them to call in and say hi.
That would be great if we speak to them later, right?
Yeah. And over to my right is beautiful Liz Fuller, a former Miss Great Britain.
I can believe that.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And next to her, Steve, you're going to like this. Jacob came in to fill in for Liz when she went to Europe. So we didn't want to use Jacob, his name. So we tried to come up with a really cool gimmick name, you know. So we went with Little Spinksy, but it didn't go over
Not at all, no.
It didn't.
Gimmick name. I know where you come from.
So you're Rednecks, the cast of season 3, nicknamed Jacob. Do you want to know what his new nickname is?
What is it?
Catfish.
Catfish. Catfish is a good nickname.
It is. It's not like it.
Wear that as a badge of honor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See? Good deal.
Yeah, the city slicker catfish.
So look, yeah, it works for me. If it had been mullet or something, that would have been no good. Catfish, you can work with that.
Okay.
Okay,
I
good.
feel a little bit more excited about that now.
Yeah, wear it with honor. Okay, so what we normally do, Steve, is we break down the show. We break it down from what we're seeing time-wise. We talk about your challenges. We talk about the reckoning. We talk about the elimination. But because you're here today, we want to take it and kind of ask you some more questions that have been coming to us over the course of the last 8 weeks. One of them is the pre-production of Redneck Island. Can you talk to us about the birth of Redneck Island?
That is a highly guarded secret that I can...
You can't talk about? Okay.
Boy, can you throw a bigger monkey wrench in our plans than that?
Well, I thought you were sitting like watching Survivor going, I could do better than that.
Man,
I mean, that is that's played, but Redneck Island isn't. What you did there was amazing.
Well, when I think the show was first pitched to CMT, it was basically, just about any group of individuals that would go to an island. And then when CMT heard it, this would be great for us if we kind of put the country flavor on that and called it Redneck Island. So, it was just basically a general pitch. But when CMT heard it, let's dial it down, put some focus on it, make it fit our demo, call it Redneck Island, cast the people that we have, good living, fun-loving people from the South, and let them compete.
Steve, were you the one that was involved in choosing the cast? Because they're all different characters, aren't they? Were you involved from day one saying, I like that person at the auditions?
No. There's no auditions. They got these scouts, man, like I heard they were in Daytona. They were all crawling over Florida. They're everywhere. I don't have anything to do with that. I show up, and those rednecks that I see, that's the first time I lay my eyes on them, and we go from there. So I mean, they're looking high and low for these people, and you know, just to keep talking about it, I've been trying to get CMT to, you know, go look in the Northeast, go look in the Midwest. I mean, come on out here on the West Coast, because there's rednecks everywhere. You ain't got to be from the South. You can just be from the country, and you know, enjoy and appreciate an outdoor life. So I want them to start spreading this thing out. But they, you know, no, I don't really have anything to do with that.
Oh. And what about the production team? I mean, how big is it? How many of you go out to Mexico, or do you use crew in Mexico as well?
Man, no, pretty much everybody goes over there. There's a couple of people that have lived over there, but man, by and large, it's a pretty vast effort. You know, it's not no rinky-dink promotion. It's there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears going behind the scenes, and man, some of the most passionate people that I've ever worked with. The pride. I mean, this show's called Redneck Island, and it's a fun-loving, easy-to-understand show. And when they broke it down to me, I fell in love with it immediately. And now that we've done it for 3 seasons, and the work behind the scenes is so intensive and such a labor of love, I'm so proud of it, and I hope it continues for many more seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. My question is, so obviously you've been to Mexico before with other seasons and whatnot. Do you enjoy having this cast out in Mexico? Do you think that's a great spot for Redneck Island to take place? Is it like a fun area?
Well, you know, it's really hard to make a lot of things look like an island, you know. I mean, you know, you think back to Gilligan's Island, you know, is it really an island, you know? So it's, we looked around in the United States in a lot of different places, and it just, nothing really worked for us. Looked down the Keys and a few other places. Mexico works. I love going down there, and once you get down there, man, it's peaceful. It works for what we're doing. You know, there's a lot of terrain changes within this season, so that's why I like this location probably a little bit better than the other locations.
Where in Mexico? Sorry, Steve.
Well, the first one was about 45 minutes out of Puerto Vallarta and Punta Mita, and then the second season was La Paz. This season was right out of Manzanilla, and it was absolutely wonderful. And they put me up in a really nice crib, and you know, the rednecks are out there doing their thing and earning their stripes and trying to stay on the island and win $100,000, and I'm kicking it and drinking Corona and tequila and working out.
So you have luxury.
Hey, I do. I'm not gonna lie about that. You know, the rednecks are the ones out there busting their chops and trying to make that 100 G's. I'm getting pretty well taken care of.
Why do you every year or every season, why are you moving your location? Is that to keep it secret and keep it private, or are you just finding different terrain and different,
I think it was just
challenges?
We started to run over there. We just kind of run into some different logistical problems. With the first location we were at there right outside of Puerto Vallarta, and things could be better. I think now that we ended up where we did this year at Manzanilla, I could really foresee that being the place, you know, for another couple of seasons. But, you know, that's not my decision. I would love to go back there. I'd like to be in a familiar place, get back to my old habits, know the places that I've ventured to over there. So it'd be great for me. And plus, in a couple of the other 2 seasons, one of the biggest problems we were dealing with was having, you know, the crew guys were having to drive 45 minutes to an hour to get to work. You know, they're putting in 15, 18-hour days and have to drive an hour, hour and a half back. So it was really kind of a hassle. This season, we all stayed about 10 minutes from set, and that is unbelievable when you're doing this type of adventure.
And drinking lots of beer every night. It's easier
Lots
to get
of beer. Swig of beer for the drinking man.
You know, it has, like, crossed my mind, and I'm sure it crosses your fans' minds. Like, what could Steve Austin possibly be doing with his spare time? Do you go in the water? Do you swim with the fishes? Do you like going out there?
No. I like to hunt deer. You're not going to get me out in the water where I got a real good chance of getting my leg bit off by a shark. There's going to be a lot of things that happen to me in life, and getting my leg bit off by a shark is not going to be one of them. I went over paddleboarding because my wife came over there, and I paddleboarded a little bit with her, and I spent most of the time trying to get back on the board because my balance wasn't good enough, and I think the board was too dang little. And, you know, it couldn't have been my balance. I needed a bigger board. And, so anyway, no, I don't really get in the water too much. I just I go to the gym. This year I really killed the gym, and I was working on rehab for my knee, and then had some ligaments done in. But man, I'm a creature of habit, and I kind of stay low key. I don't need a whole lot of adventure. I just want to go to work, make my money, do a real good job for these people at CMT and for the rednecks, and then take my ass home.
You know, there was a blooper that you talked about a long time ago. It might have been in season 1 or 2, where you fell off the platform and you were hoping that they were going to show that footage. What exactly happened? How did you slip off that?
Well, we were doing some of the flags. You know, like this year when the bottles roll up at Steve Mill.
Yeah.
Last season, you know, I'd hang those flags out there, and so I went out there and did a couple of those gimmicks, and then changed shirts, and then we got hung up. The flag got hung up, so I was going to lean over there, and it was all jerry-rigged, and the guy was in the boat, and the waves were coming in, and I leaned over and leaned a little bit too much on that cane pole and just went tumbling in the water. And don't get me wrong, I ain't no Michael Phelps, but I can swim pretty good. So, but I was hoping that they caught it on camera, and it was out of focus, but they did catch the moment on TV. It was great. It was hilarious.
With those sharks getting ready to go.
Oh, you know they were, man.
I completely feel you. We live on the beach. We live in Laguna Beach, and I am not a fan of the water. And I tell my parents every time, we have a deal. The sharks stay in the ocean, I stay on land. That's why we don't have land sharks right now. But if we break the deal, we will have land sharks one day.
Well, see, that's the thing about it all. I mean, like, I live right there in Marina Del Rey, Venice area. I'm a mile from the water, and everybody said, man, why don't you go spend more time on the beach? Well, first of all, I'm type A personality. Hey, if one thing I can't stand is laying around in the sun. My wife can lay there all day, not me. And then, but my point is, if you go out in the water's so dirty. There's so many diseases out there. Them surfers come back with sores and gimmicks and sicknesses and all this other stuff on them. I ain't got time for that. I'm trying to just, live as long as I can. That would be a real bad thing if someone said, man, whatever happened to Steve Austin? How did he die? He went out swimming in Marina Del Rey and got bit by some kind of parasite, and that's what got me. Ultimately, some kind of thing that floated in the water got in one of my orifices and killed me. That would not be good. I must host another season of Redneck Island.
So, Steve, that challenge last night, the one where they actually... Was it last night? No, I've recapped on 3 shows because obviously I've been away. You know the one where they came flying down on the tire into the water?
Oh, yeah.
You don't get to try any of these challenges, I'm taking it.
Oh, yeah, I can try them all out. By and large, the last 2 seasons, my knee has been. When we did that first season, I was just going under the knife. This season or last season, I was just getting done. I can't even put it all together now. But to answer your question, no. No.
He can't, but he doesn't want to.
To go down, I mean, I've taken enough bumps in my life that, I'm not a thrill seeker. All I want to do is go run the rednecks through the paces, go to the gym, make money, take my ass home. That's it. I don't need to do these things. I want to watch and laugh.
Have we had any redneck contestants that have been scared of the water? Have there been any?
No, they've all been gangbusters. I mean, these people, when they cast, they're looking high and low, and they're looking into these people, and they're doing a lot of research on them. Because you can't be afraid of anything when you come on that island, because you never know what you're going to be asked to do or put through. And by and large, for the most part, man, they've done a really, really good job of bringing some quality people out to Redneck Island.
Wasn't Travis afraid of heights, or?
Well, Travis was afraid of a lot of things.
He was afraid of a lot of things.
Yeah.
If there was a pill bug walking across his table, he would probably be afraid of it.
I have to ask you about these challenges because they're so creative. Okay, I've actually always wanted to do everything that I'm watching. I want to be launched out of a catapult. I want to go down a slide like that. I want to be flying after stuffed beer bottles. Do you come up with this stuff?
No.
I had to think about that for a second.
No, that was a dramatic pause.
Oh.
Yeah, I just letting that moment build a little bit.
It did
because,
build.
I say no to everything else. You would expect it on some brain work. Finally, I get a chance to own up to something and put myself over and make myself look like $1 million. But I went the other way. No, but they pitch these things to me, before we go out there, run them all by me. And then, if I, lend my creative 2 cents, and usually that's all it's worth is 2 cents, but then I can put mine in. Yeah, but it kind of goes back to the wrestling business. I never did want to book an entire territory, but when it came time to my storyline, I was good at putting the salt and pepper on the main points that would make it that much better. So I'm better at seasoning a steak than just grabbing a whole steak. So I do have my input, but by and large, you've got some really talented people putting these things together for these rednecks.
Gotcha.
So which is your favorite challenge? Which one do you love seeing them do?
Man, well, that first one that we go back to, was it season 1? They get all tangled up in this old brain of mine. That when they jumped off the platform onto the airbag that was floating out in the water, was that season 1 or 2?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And they sprung, they'd hit it and boink off.
Yeah, and they had to go into the target thing. That was
yeah.
probably my favorite one of all time. And I don't even remember what season that is.
I can't remember either. That's right. They had to like land in a circle. Like they had to kind of figure out how to dive from being launched and make it into a floating circle, and they got the point.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
The one this year was pretty good. You know, it was just 1 or 2 weeks ago as we talk. The one where they hooked them up to the back of the four-wheeler, and the four-wheeler took off, and then they got, you know, it was the big catapult one.
Oh, I loved it.
Anytime you get strapped in a big rubber band as a human being, and then tie your ass onto the back of a four-wheeler and haul ass, and then you got someone, okay, that's tight enough, pull the pin. There's a lot of elements in there that could just wreak of havoc, but all the rednecks lived to fight another day, but it was very fun to watch.
Well, this, there's also eating challenges.
Oh, my goodness.
Which, like, we saw today. I mean, well, it was Saturday. We saw the eating challenge, which was, by and large, one of the most grotesque.
My stomach's still queasy.
I mean, have you ever eaten pig stomach or pig lips? I didn't even know pigs had lips. I just thought they had a mouth. I'm not even, I mean, how does that happen?
Lips go on a mouth.
Watch this catfish. No. See what put that drama in there? As an actor, you wait for these moments, and then you go, what were we talking about?
Dang,
Shady Burrito.
Shady Burrito, that was sad.
Man, I tell you what, I've eaten, and probably you too, you know, eating some shady things back in the day, trying to make a dime in the old business. But, you know, these days, not so much. I mean, when you see all those flies buzzing around there, holy smokes, mister. And I got people on my Twitter account last night, Steve Austin, BSR. I was about to plug here. And they were saying, are those real flies? Yes, those were real flies. We didn't fly them in, no pun intended. They were there. They were crawling all over all that stuff. And I was thinking, man, these cats are about to eat all this stuff. So it was a mess.
It was so gross. I honestly thought that you guys had the actual food, just like that was for aesthetics. Like you had the fake stuff up there, and then under the table hiding was like a cleaner version.
I'd like to say that was true aesthetic on another show with a bigger budget, but that was the real McCoy. What you saw was what they ate.
Well, the funny thing was, I think octopus is okay, but when you see all the flies buzzing on it, it really put me off.
Yeah.
But I have to say, thank goodness you had the Shady Burrito, because it got Candy out, right?
Well,
and I don't think we would have lost Candy any other way. I think that food challenge was the way that it was the way she went home. But for me, that would be the challenge that I couldn't do.
Well, what do you think?
I was so sad to see Candy go, because, you know, she was actually the one that held the Girls Alliance together.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, because you don't want Cody and you don't want Bucket in the final.
I've always said Bucket will win this. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but that's what I think. No, I think the Girls Alliance
Steve's over
was
there,
fake.
like keeping it all in his head. He's like, I know, but I'm not telling.
And don't spoil it for us.
He can't.
Never.
I am actually blown away that Misty and B-Mart went after Candy during that challenge, because it made absolutely no sense strategically, and all it did was put Candy in her weakest, most vulnerable spot, and now they don't have her on the team to keep the Girls Alliance together, where they had numbers. Okay, it was 5-2.
No,
so,
I think.
But isn't that the kind of way gals are sometimes?
Yeah,
It's all about the moment, and you don't look farther down the road.
I have been waiting to watch the girls destroy themselves since they made that little alliance, because I'm like, Girls Alliance, there's going to be a problem there at one point. Yeah.
What did it take for that whole thing to come across and just totally implode? Was when Misty decided she had enough of Candy. And that was when, you know, she felt like Candy called her white trash and she kind of looked down on Misty. And so Misty, when given the opportunity, got rid of her, and she was, I mean, clearly she wasn't thinking. She was reacting.
Well, it was interesting, and Candy was a gamer. They all have been, but she certainly was a gamer. But it was interesting sometimes when you watch, you know, the conversations that happen around my place. You know, they're very transparent what they're thinking, and you know what their logic is, and how they're playing the game. And so, you know,
for me, I think Candy was a really nice person. I know you liked her, Angelina, but for me, I just thought she was trying to rule the roost, and it was gonna get too bitchy. I'm sorry. So for me, Candy gone.
You're good with it? I'm not good with
and
it.
I'm really good. I just felt it's so unfair, 5 girls to 2, right? So
Right.
now we're down to, what are we down to? 4 girls to 2?
Yeah.
Stacey and Candy, we just lost. For me, I just think, come on, Girls Alliance, I just think it's wrong. And, you know, Cody said a great thing. He said, women that lie behind your back and women that lie to your face. He said that last night. So basically, he was just saying, you know, you just can't trust a woman with the votes.
Well,
and I think
wait
it's
a
true
minute.
with the show.
I'm going to read you a Candy
For the
quote.
show.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. See what you did there with the
Just
show.
with the show.
I can't buy that one. But so then, why do you say that you're not about a all-girl alliance?
I just think it should be more fair. I think don't try and I don't know why. I just think it should be. I think it's more exciting as a viewer to still see the guys almost to the end. I don't want to see an all-girl show. And I think I really...
Well, that's because you're a girl.
But also, no, it's
Think
not.
about the guys out there.
Redneck Chick Island.
I think for me, I've been a Bucket fan the whole way. I love him. He's endearing. He's warm. He's humble. He comes across as stupid, but he's not. And I just didn't want to see somebody get voted off that shouldn't go yet.
Okay.
I can-
He's a real
wait minute.
character.
I can tell there's a lot going in Steve's head. What's your thought on that?
Oh, as you guys are commenting, I mean, you know, as I play this thing and I'm hosting it, you know, I remain neutral all the way through. But, you know, certainly as you speak about Bucket, just an entertaining, hilarious guy, the way he phrases things and the way his gears spin in his brain. I had a lot of fun hanging around him, as all of them. But when you mention him specifically, he's a hilarious cat. So, yeah, thankfully he survived to go another round.
There was another quote as well last night. I think Bucket said, let me see if I can remember it. It said something like, a lot of times my ideas end me up in jail. Like, I can't do the American accent, but it was just so funny. And I was watching thinking, has this guy been in jail lots of times? For what?
And then he said, but I think this one will be safe.
Well, okay, I'm not, I'm not playing devil's advocate, okay, but I am playing Candy's advocate, okay? And-
Candy's gone.
Well, she's gone, but I'm going to
It's
tell
fair.
you, before she left, she always called it like she saw it, and she was the one that called Bucket out, and I will tell you why, because you put a couple beers in him, and he's not the fun-loving, awesome dude that you were talking about. He actually can get mean. He got mean with Travis when Travis was when he was coming back from an elimination and kind of bullied him there, and I've seen Bucket actually go after Candy in this last episode, where Candy says, and I quote, "My mama always said, a drunk man's word is a sober man's thoughts." Hello.
You know how many things I've learned from
Good
Candy's
quote.
mom at this point in the show?
What?
That is just, I've learned so much from her mom at this show. It's like every other word is, my mama taught me this.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
Speaking about Candy, now she's obviously a very smart chick, and street smarts and survivor smarts. I mean, she's got it going on, and she calls it like she sees it. She does.
I actually prefer Candy over Stacey. I thought Candy was more entertaining. Stacey, yeah, little snake, I think.
Well,
I think she's kind of coasting. She kind of just didn't make too many waves, but just, you know.
Well, like she was trying to be safe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just kind of riding the coattails. But you brought up a very interesting point. You said someone who they really haven't shown yet is Brittany M. Yeah.
We don't see a lot of Brittany M in the way the show's edited. It took me weeks to get to know this girl. I didn't warm to her, and it's only last night's show. I mean, I have been away and I've been catching up on episodes, but it was only last night's show that I really learned a little bit more about her. Why is that? Why don't we see as much as her as the rest?
Well, if we can go down that road, I'm surprised you know anything about the host.
Oh, I've watched you.
Bmar, very strong in the competition. She was.
She was? Does that mean she's out at some point?
No, the show is over. I mean, we're talking
I've
about
taught
it.
in the past tense.
She is a heck of a competitor, and the way the show is edited. And of course, I'm not in on that end. I'll get some cuts. I can make my feedback, but you know, in that editing process, to your point, or to answer your question, hey, you know, sometimes just in the way those things get pieced together, you find out more about someone in a certain segment of the show or the series or the season that than at other times.
So is it personality driven, do you think, with the edit? Because obviously that's the way I see. I just see the most controversial stuff is what's shown, perhaps, and maybe she's been. I think Brittany M is the nicest, sweetest girl because on the vote last night when she did a throwaway vote and voted for Lindsay because she couldn't choose between Cody and. What was the other one, Cody and Stacey? No. I just thought, wow, what a nice girl. She stuck to the alliance. Well, she didn't, but she just couldn't throw anybody under the bus. I actually warmed to her.
Well, not to change the topic, but I'm changing it. I guess I can do that every once in a while. We're going to talk about the reckonings because the reckonings are those elimination challenges per se. And sometimes you're eliminated right on the spot. Sometimes, well, like for example, well, the challenge, Candy got eliminated, but a reckoning, someone's going to the elimination. It's either a team or it's a single person. And now we're at the point where they're playing individually. So someone's going to be getting eliminated as a result of the reckoning. Someone's going to be safe, I should say. Okay, let me take a giant step.
In this episode, it was someone's going to be safe and someone's going to be eliminated on the spot, like with what happened with Woodle, which was kind of like a surprise none of us saw coming.
Yeah, yeah. I always get worried, like, as I watch these reckonings happening, because these are the most physical, you know, the reckonings. I mean, they are seriously physical. And I worry, you know, about how it's going to play out at the elimination time. It's concerning to me that at the time of this reckoning, everyone flipped and went towards Stacey on it. I mean, everyone like. Oh, in the after the reckoning, we talked about them going back to camp and then strategizing on who are they going to get out.
Right. I think you're saying it was a shock that they decided to destroy the Girls Alliance and take out Stacey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised there. I mean, I guess I think it was a very smart move on Lindsay's part, and I personally liked it just because I like to see drama, I like to see action, I like to see, you know, groups break and alliances drop, and because, you know, it would kind of be
it's more fun, right?
Sad. Yeah, yeah. If like one group, if 5 people said we're gonna go all the way to the end, and then those 5 people make it to the end, it's like, oh, well, this show didn't really go anywhere. They just did what they said they were going to do. So. Well,
I got to tell you, for Stacey, we know she got eliminated. But when she left her first alliance, remember when she threw Brandon under the bus? Bucket never forgave her. He taunted her with it. This is the guy that you like. He constantly taunted her. And then Stacey sticks to her alliance, and then her alliance turns on her. She lost. Lindsay voted against her because Lindsay immediately panicked once Candy was gone. You could see that Candy was the strength of that woman's alliance, because when that happened, Lindsay saw a target on her back and immediately started to work on another alliance with Bucket, which made her put Stacey's name on a koozie. What's it like reading those koozies when you pull them out of the can, out of the cooler?
You guys, it's like the NFL draft. You guys study this show like scientists. Y'all know more about this show than I do. And I hosted it all 3 seasons. You know, when I go over and get those coolers, it's interesting. You get a little bit of a, all right, let's see who's going home, because I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No,
wow,
man. You know, I start pulling those cans out, and you know, I'm reading them right on the spot. So it's interesting for me, because I'm thinking, this is interesting. Yeah. I'm going to okay, here we go. So it's fun. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me because of the things that continue to happen.
Jeez. Wait, so you're then, are you not aware of, you know, the scheming that they're doing, everything that they're saying secretly?
Man, I show up. When you see me, I'm there, and then I'm putting them through the paces. Other than that, man, I'm not back here watching monitors, doing all this.
Right, right.
And I'm you know, I facilitate the process, and then, you know, they do their reality and do their things and all that stuff. I'm not back there studying. I'm hanging.
I really enjoy that, actually. That makes me kind of, I mean, I love the show already, but that makes me just so much more proud of it. I just think that's great.
I love doing it. It's a great job. I'm glad that you love the show.
Well, you know, when you throw them the can to go in and sign the koozie, they go to this little hut, right? And yeah, it's so cute that you actually turn the light off and you save electricity. I think that's really, really hilarious.
This ain't like the Motel 6 or Tom Bodell leave a light on for you, not over at Redneck Island. You got to save some money on that generator.
So funny. And then you take you take this cooler out, and then behind you is like this little house that you built. And one time you did a little tour, maybe it was a bonus feature or whatever, and you took people, you know, you did this little virtual tour of it. But what do you ever see that part of the set playing out in anything, like some kind of a, I don't know, we want to see more of that?
I don't know. That's something to think about. You know, I built those huts with my own 2 hands.
You're kidding.
No way.
I am
really?
kidding. See what I did there?
I didn't buy
Oh my God.
That's why I didn't let that one breathe, man.
These 2 bought it, didn't they? I was like, no, that's like Bucket saying it too.
That's why I didn't let that one breathe, see?
Oh, jeez.
BS.
Got me by the hook every time.
I gotta say though, Stacey's face last night was a picture. I mean, for you, it's the same, right? You must be thinking, I've just got to see the reactions as the audience at home. But it was just so transparent in all their faces last night.
Well, you know, yeah, it is. And, you know, man, these people, they're totally, you know, they're there for a reason. And, you know, the longer you're in, you know, the closer you are. And then the closer you are, and then all of a sudden that door gets slammed on you, or you get your foot in the butt on the way out. You know, it hurts. And, man, I mean, they want that 100 G's. And I think on top of that, they want to win.
Have there ever been any alliances where they've said they'll share the money? Because that's what I would do.
Didn't they talk about doing that on season 1? I thought they did. No, they didn't, but, you know, it sounded good at the time.
Are they even
I think
allowed
you'll do anything.
to?
I think you'll say anything, you know, to keep your chances of staying on the island. When it all comes down to getting that check, they're making it out to one person and one person only.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, we took a couple questions from the cast. Can I ask you a couple questions? Okay, well, Mike voted out, I think, 3rd. Great guy. We had him on the show. He wants to know, did you ever, during that elimination point, think in your head, what the hell are they thinking? Why are they making this choice?
Yes. All the time. I think, what are these cats doing? Are they something wrong with them? Or here's what I'm thinking now to do. So, yeah, it never ceases to amaze me what's going on that island when I'm reading those cans.
That is one thing, just the relationship the cast has had with you. I've noticed they're like in love with you. They just think you're the coolest guy. They all want to be your friend. They all love you. They all respect you dearly. Well, almost all of them. We had one little altercation, but I mean, that must just be something that's incredible to have just that relationship with them.
The cast has been very smart. I'm kidding you. No, you know what? You know, first of all, I've had a great time, you know, with all the cast, and each season has been a little bit different. But man, I'm out there giving them my all. I want to represent them. Want to give them each a fair, you know, moment and share and shot at everything. So, man, I'm totally neutral, but I want to have fun with them. And I want to respect them. And on my island, every now and then, there's been 1 or 2 cases where someone gets a little lippy, and we have a real quick come to Jesus meeting, and that don't happen again. There's going to be a big problem. But no, I have fun with these people, and I want them to have fun out there because that's what the show is about. Yeah. For sure, there's $100,000 on the line, but I'm there for them to have a good time, and so we all have a good time together. And we're spending long days out there in the sun. I mean, it looks all fun and games on TV, but there's a lot of work that goes on between those fun and games. So we're out there sweating it out together. I'm doing the same thing they are, and we all bond. By the time it's all said and done, we all bond.
Well, one of your one of your biggest fans, Woodle, Brittany, she like adores you, loves you to death. She has a question as well. Would you like to?
I don't have it. You read it.
No problem. Woodle wants to know, and she's curious, do you have any plans for a Redneck Island All-Stars?
Redneck Island All-Stars. I've been hearing that on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR. I get asked that a lot. Do I know if that'll happen? Right now, talking to you, I don't know. I think we need a couple more seasons for that to happen. But certainly planting that seed for something that could happen down the road, I think it'd be awesome because you've already gotten a chance to you know, if you're going to pick your all-stars, you know and love these people already, then all of a sudden you put all of those all-stars and they're going through these same paces, but the stakes are higher because these are the all-stars, so it could happen.
Right.
I would like to see it happen.
Yeah.
CMT, you listening?
CMT. Knock, 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 knock.
I mean, that is something definitely the show has appeared to be very successful over the seasons and is growing in popularity. to the best of my knowledge.
I want to see more awareness in advertising. That's me. You know, I'm in a promotion business.
Steve, can I come back and just say, I know you said you're neutral, but you must look at the contestants and think, well, do you look at the contestants and think, I predict he's going to do well or she's going to do well? What are your? You must have thoughts.
Well, certainly I do. Certainly I do. But you would, you know, when we're on set, you will never know that. No one ever gets treated above or below anybody else. They're all treated equally. You can bring a psychic out there, and she wouldn't know what I'm thinking. But certainly, in my brain, in my head, of course, I'm just like y'all. Of course, I have, you know, the things, my opinions are, you know, people that I think they're probably going to win this, or this person doesn't have a chance, and maybe they'll prove me wrong. But certainly, absolutely.
Are you proven wrong? Or are your thoughts pretty spot on?
I would say my batting average would be pretty solid, but certainly I strike out every now and then.
Wow.
That's interesting, yeah.
Jacob, to answer your question, CMT, actually Redneck Island holds the record for the highest season premiere in CMT's history. Did you know that?
I did not. That's really good information.
I was proud of that number. And, awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, I sit there and squawk a little bit talking about advertising and stuff, but I mean, that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
I value my relationship with those cats, and it's a win-win for them to be in business with me, and me to be in business with them. It's a great partnership.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, yeah, you're right. It's a marriage made in heaven. This is just, it's a production, you know, just a production question, but you know the song that's sung at the beginning? Well, it's called the Redneck Island theme song, sung by TNA star James Storm, Dixie's husband, right? Is that Dixie's husband? No?
Dixie's husband? Are you shooting with me? Ain't no Dixie's husband.
Yes, I am shooting with you.
A little wrestling talk here for you people that aren't smart to the business. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? No, it's not. If it's biggest kayfabe I ever knew, that ain't James Storm's.
Sorry.
There's a wrestler in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling named James Storm. That's his entrance music, and we borrowed it. But those two, I didn't know that those two were related.
Somehow I thought I
are
saw
married nonetheless.
Never mind. I am so sorry. But the whole time I'm listening to it for the first 2 seasons, I swear to God, I thought that was you.
Oh, well, you know. Hello, Nick.
Didn't you? I mean, it sounds just like Steve Austin singing that song.
I wish it was me, but you know, that was what I actually wanted to do with my life. I actually wanted to be a singer in a rock and roll band and traveling all over the world being famous, but I can't sing worth a damn, so I'm sitting here talking to y'all about hosting Redneck Island. I could be on tour right now.
Oh, man. It's going to have to issue a formal apology to Dixie.
Oh, Dixie's all right. They're doing a great job over at TNA.
So your thoughts, if we talk about Redneck Island and we talk about everything that you've done, can you, you know, would you do anything different that hasn't been done right now for season 4?
Man, that's a good question right off the top of, you know, my head. I don't, you know, no, I don't know how to answer that question.
You're liking the way it's gone.
I do. I think, you know, CMT's got a real good beat on this show. 51 Minds, the production company, does a hell of a job. Very talented, passionate people working for that company. Off the top of my head, you know, next season, if they say, hey, we're going to go do season 4, then I would like to see some of the challenges be even a little bit bigger. I really enjoyed going back to season 1 when they jumped off that structure onto the bag and got launched up into the air. Anytime you have human beings getting launched high into the air with nothing attached to them, I like that. So maybe in season 4, that's what you will see.
I am hoping so, because that's actually what hooked us as a family. We all watch it as a family, and when I said my husband's name is Mike, I said, honey, watch this show because they have the best challenges. And then he saw like the hooting and hollering as they're flying through the air, and then crash, bam, boom, and it was so awesome. I was like, I'm hooked. I want more of that.
You know, the ones that are hard for me is the eating competitions, because I'm always worried somebody's going to choke on something. I'm going to jump over there and give them a Heimlich maneuver and do something wrong.
That is exactly what I was thinking when I was
They make me nervous as hell. You know, so maybe they'll keep doing eating contests. I'm not a big fan of eating contests. I'd rather have something else, the stakes to be higher or more competition, because some people just can't eat, you know, like Candy. To your point a while ago, that was the thing that got her out of the competition. She was a gamer.
I understand that. I think the eating one is the one that ooh, ugh.
Well,
I'd jump off a building, but I wouldn't do that.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'd jump off the building with you.
You know the water challenges where you're actually like on a platform?
Yeah.
You know, do you ever think like, don't drown? Because I'm not going to swim in to save you.
For the rednecks or me?
Yeah, no, yeah, when you watch the rednecks doing a challenge in the water and like they'll lose their wind and, you know, sometimes you'll see someone in a scuba diving snorkel and mask trying to...
Well, it's interesting because Misty, when we were doing when they jumped off the platform to grab the big ass spears, she really cracked her ribs good and knocked the wind out of her for a couple of good, and so she took a pretty good spell on that one. But you know, we got some great trained professionals there. Believe it or not, got people on standby, all the medical stuff ready. Well, I don't know how good the medical stuff is because when Philip blew his knee out, they had some guy that didn't speak English shooting something in his ass. You know, he didn't know what it was. So I think it's good medical. We got people on standby with snorkels and a pair of fins. We're just going to try to fish their ass out of the water.
And you know what? I think we're realizing those waters are not the safest. As Woodle pointed out, because one of the things they won from you is a fishing rod, but the only thing they're catching is deadly puffer fish, stuff they can't eat.
Yeah, and on that first season, the rednecks said there weren't any fish out there, so I don't know what they were using for bait. But I won't go in the water because I don't want to get bit by a shark. But I don't think there's any sharks in the water. I don't know what's going on. But you know, they can't catch any fish on the show.
Well, I have to ask you because we all your season 3 cast, they follow this podcast, they love it, and you know, they give us their feedback and stuff. And I know every one of them listening right now would love to hear your thoughts on them. For example, we were talking about Philip and the guts he had to play with a busted up knee, and we only found out after we had him on our show that during that cookie challenge where he was eating cookies and milk, that he had like an abscessed tooth and he was dealing with a lot of other things. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. But I mean, that's kind of, excuse me, that speaks to how tough Philip is. He blew his will out and he kept going into competition. And sorry, I had a moment there. I'm drinking carbonated water. Swig of water for the working man. That burp was for free. You rednecks out there, that's for you.
Oh, no, but to Philip, redneck.
They all represented. I'd like to say hi to them all that are listening. I was proud of all of you. It was a great time working with all of you. Y'all represented well. One of you got a little mouthy with me. That won't never happen again.
Which one was that?
We'll talk about it later.
Well, yeah, we're not going to give any time.
Did we give him a tea?
But again, you know, hello to all the rednecks. I hope to see you down the road somewhere. And if I do, the first beer's on me. The next one's on you. Y'all all did a great job.
Well, we have some fan favorites and we have some cast favorites. Like for me, I absolutely fell in love with Woodle.
Oh, I love Woodle. She's a great competitor, man. She was a hoss out there, and she just finally, you know, what did she get eliminated on? That was on the slide thing, swimming for the thing.
Yep.
That was a tough day. You could see the emotion on the island. Nobody wanted to see Woodle go, and she was one of the strongest competitors there, and everybody just really liked her so much because she was so genuine. There was tears when she got voted off the island. I mean, when she had to leave the island. And although she's one of the strongest competitors, everybody just gravitated toward her because she was the real McCoy. She's a real deal.
She went home because she was the slowest. This is one of the shows that I missed. She was the slowest.
It was an elimination.
She wouldn't have got voted off, right? Because everybody liked her.
There are two rednecks that were not voted off, and it was Candy, because she lost her elimination round, and then Woodle. Now, with Woodle, when we were first talking about in the pre-show, we were talking about who we thought was going to win. Man, I was really worried about Woodle because I thought, you know, she's got a tough road ahead of her. If these challenges are physical, if she might be discriminated against because people won't want her on her team because they don't think she's going to play the same game or whatever. But she rose to the challenge every single time, and she won over those rednecks, one redneck at a time, and I loved her for that.
Do you remember in the was it the challenge where she dragged Lindsay all the way along, right? She did so well in that one.
She's the reason why they won. I mean, it was like 3-0 at one point, or some ridiculous number like that. The winner had to win by 4. Woodle beat all the girls. Like, she's the absolute reason why.
Right. And Lindsay kept saying, I'll do it again. It's like, no, Lindsay, you just lost. Don't go up against Woodle.
Yeah, but what were really the options? I mean, you know, Woodle strapped up, and what you guys didn't see, the way they edited that out, the way they edited that together, there was one time when Woodle just kind of took a break, and she just had that forward lean going on that strap. She was just catching a little bit of air, and it was just a pure power position. She was playing with her. So, I mean, you know, that's what you didn't see. I mean, Woodle dominated that competition.
Wow.
You know, and she turned in an MVP performance every time she went out.
So every contestant has their different strengths, really, don't they? So you can't predict it because you don't know what the challenge is going to be. I never saw Candy going home.
But, well, going back to, you never know what you're going to see, but as strong as Woodle was, that ladder, that rope ladder on the one challenge, we had to jump on the platform to get the big-ass beer, that really gave Woodle a problem where she breezed through everything else. So that was the one time you think, oh, maybe a chink in her armor there, but she weathered the storm and survived.
I mean, talking about the challenges, some of the names, I mean, what have we got here? Balls Out, Cameo Cube, Gone Tubbin, Redneck IQ, Ice in the Cooler. I mean, all of these names, who's coming up with them?
That's a good idea. I'll take the credit for it.
Dude, Steve starts saying
You know, don't burst our bubble. We think it's you. We believe that you're writing down all these challenges. You got your little thing. You got your beer in your right hand, and you're just like scribbling away, and you're creating all this, and like Wile E. Coyote's playing in the background, and you're like, that's a great idea. And then that's the next.
Yeah. Why bring John Stossel in this and smarten everybody up, a la Dr. D. David Schultz? Let's go ahead and keep it real. So anyway, what I got planned out for next season. Because I was just trying to protect the business a little bit and give those other people some credit. I think of all this stuff. I just ride down the road in my Suburban with Hershey the Wonder Dog, drinking Pellegrino drinking water, thinking of more stuff to do to Rednecks. When I drive home here in just a little bit, I'm going to think of what we're going to do on season 4. And I might even give you guys a hint if I come back. How about this? When I come back.
Oh, that's great.
You know what, Steve? I do have to give you credit, though. I mean, we were talking earlier in what we call the green room, I guess. And I said to you, do you do your own tweets? And you actually do. Now, I was impressed by that because a lot of people don't do their own tweet and they have like some social media firm doing it. So, you know, let's give you some credit for the stuff that you do.
Well, to your point, when you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer right here. I'm not going to lie about anything. I'll tell it like it is. Obviously, can't talk about the winners. The winner, but yeah, if you ask me a question, I'll tell you how it is, and that's the same thing I do with my Twitter account or anything I do. I'll either own up to it if it's good or bad and tell you like it is. But all my tweets, and we were talking, I had such a hard time back in the day, you know, starting the Twitter account because, you know, social media and you send out a tweet. It just sounded so stupid. But at some points, you got to get involved into the game, you know. And I'm such an anti-technology guy that I started my account, and then I really fell in love with it. And it's a way to keep in touch with your fans and to retweet and spread the word. So I have a lot of fun to it, and I appreciate all the people that follow me on Steve Austin BSR. But yes, Liz, that is me. All of them, good or bad. Or in between.
It's good because I think when you're watching the show, it's good to be able to have that instant communication, you know. But, you know, I agree with you. Twitter, I think really it's the 15-year-olds that really know how to use it, right? 15,
They're the ones born with it. Even I wasn't born with that. But that is something that you do really well is you do progress in the social media world. And one of the things that I just started watching with my mom is your podcast show, which is just and we were talking about this earlier, just it's fun to listen to you with your random statements and kind of sometimes just off topic, back on topic. You know how real it is just because of all the directions it's going. And I really love that because it doesn't seem scripted at all.
Man, it ain't. It's just, you know, halftime, you know, I would like to say, okay, coming on the show in 2 weeks is so-and-so. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing from one show to the next. I know that I'm talking to Scott Hall tomorrow, and he'll be on the Thursday show, and Adam Carolla is tomorrow's show. But you know, above and beyond that, that's as far as I go. So I mean, I've got things written down on a piece of paper. I got a couple little plugs there that I'll throw in. It's a redneck effort, is what it is.
Yeah, and one of the things you told me is you said you hope that I get something out of it, which I do, but you may have even saved my life. Because one of your episodes we just watched is how you were talking about bad drivers.
Yep.
And I think I'm a decent driver, although the stuff you told me, it reminds me of things I should do, basic things, not drifting in and out, making sure you're using your blinker and all that stuff. The lady sitting next to you, however, does not like to use her blinkers, swerves here and there, going crazy.
wait,
and your episode comes on. I am like in heaven. I am loving this because you're like, use your blinkers as she's turning into the next lane without a blinker, and some guy behind us is about to like swerve.
Well, all right. I do want to tell you that I have started using my blinker more.
I am so proud of you. It's really not that hard, is it?
No, it's not hard at all.
Okay, guys, can we not put down female drivers in this studio?
It ain't about the female driver. There's a bunch of guys that are idiots out there. And I was driving down today. You know, I got on the 405, hit the 101, and I'm watching the person beside me, and they just drift over to don't use their blinker. And I kind of give them that drive-by stink eye.
Yeah, the drive-by stink eye, yeah.
And they go, Steve Austin.
And I was I talk about driving so much on my podcast, but when it all really comes down to it, is there's just like, there's some really dumb people out there, and there's just some people out there who really could completely care less. They do not care. So I watch my language very appropriately on this show. Yeah. If I was on the Steve Austin show, you would hear exactly what I'm thinking. But some people are just really dumb. Some people just totally don't give a damn. And, you know, to very large degrees. Now, I'm not sitting here calling everybody dumb. I'm talking about the dumb drivers, and you see them just like I do. Y'all know who they are.
Maybe it's just dumb habits and not dumb drivers.
Well,
I'm trying to defend my mom
Hey,
over
I'm
there.
a great driver.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I'm not
Left
that
side or
fast.
right side?
But people from England do drive better.
I just want to make sure.
I can drive on both sides, but the funniest thing is, obviously in the UK we have a lot of manual cars, right? I'm using my left hand here. And when I came to America first time, learned how to drive the automatic, no problem, other side of the road. When I went home to the UK, I got on what we call the motorway. I'm in a manual car. I get to the end of the motorway in Wales, is a roundabout. I forgot to put my foot on the clutch. I stalled on a motorway
Nice.
because I'd picked up how to drive in America. You guys are lazy drivers.
Let me just say, okay, when we talk about the Steve Austin show, I have to tell you, when we're talking about Twitter, this just went through my mind earlier today. Here you are, you got 1.5 million fans on your Twitter that follow Steve Austin on @SteveAustin, BSR, right? Okay, so he comes out with a podcast and he's talking about CGF, which stands for...
Crippled goose factor.
Which you get when you eat. I mean, there's certain foods that have, like on a scale of 1 to 10, would be how you rate the type of crippled goose you're gonna get.
And just to elaborate, to make this a little bit more understanding, gooses have a bad stereotype of taking really bad number twos. They take pretty wicked crap. So
this is the Steve Austin Show, podcast 1.
Imagine it on the level from 1 to 10. 10 being as far, and this is what I took as the understanding. Hopefully, it's the same thing. 10 being as unbelievably gross as you could possibly imagine.
Now wait. Now with that being said, since you came out with that podcast, how many people have tweeted you about their digestive meals?
Well, yeah, it's well, I get pictures I'll take of like if you would have took a picture of that Shady Burrito, that would have a CGF of at least, as I tweeted out, 9.5, and then you threw in the flies that were on it were an extra 0.5, so there was a CGF of 10, and indeed, a couple people started throwing up, so I can imagine what happened later in the bathroom.
Oh, I'm looking at these tweets, and people are like, "Hey, Steve, I ate a pizza and it was an 8 CGF." I'm like, does he want to know that?
And it's hard to explain if you haven't heard the podcast before.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you want to, right? You want to tune in. Podcast 1, it's called The Steve Austin Show. And you're doing 2 podcasts a week?
2 podcasts a week.
That's a lot.
It is. But I'm thinking about adding another show, but I got a couple of projects coming up this summer. I'm going to do a couple of movies back to back and then go down South Texas to Broken Skull Ranch for deer hunting. But I want to add one more day in, but that's a work in progress.
Let's talk about your films. What's coming up?
Man, a movie where I'm just killing bad guys and straightening people out, trying to save good guys. And
Do you think you are
What's the name of that
stereotyped?
movie? Yeah.
you know what? If I'd have came out to Los Angeles, California when I was 23, 24, by the time I got into the business of pro wrestling, I would be going to acting classes. Well, I'd already be established or whatever. Man, I'd done everything that I've done. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to get a couple of bust-ass parts, mess some people up, save the good guy, knock the bad guy off and pay my bills. Yeah, typecast me or stereotype me any way you want. I don't care.
But you want to be the good guy.
No, I prefer to be the bad guy. But in the movies I'm in, they pay me to be the good guy. Yeah. I prefer to be the bad guy any day of the week.
Speaking about the movies that you have been in, you actually have a movie right now that's out. It's Adam Sandler's Grown Up 2, and you have a cameo. How was it working with Adam?
Man, that was 1 month after having an ACL and a PCL put in my left knee. So I was in a lot of pain just walking around on the knee. I taught myself how to walk 2 days before I went because I wasn't off my crutches yet. But to answer your question, Adam Sandler is wonderful. He's one of the nicest, classiest guys I've met out in this town since I've been here. And, you know, way back in the day, I had a small part in The Longest Yard when he did that remake.
Wow.
So, you know, he wanted me for this part. You know, Sony was a little nervous, trepidatious about me being able to do the movie, do it because I had my surgery before they even rolled into production. And Adam stood behind me and said, no, Steve can do it. If Steve says he can do it, he can. And so it's a credit to him that I got to be in the movie, and he selected me. So thank you very much, Adam. And I haven't seen the movie yet. I heard I was tremendous. That's what I've been getting on my sleeve. That's what people have been saying on my Twitter account. But I told people, when I read that script, it was laugh out loud funny. And everybody, you know, the critics panned it because the critics, you know, they're looking for art. They're not looking for funny.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know funny if it bit them on the ass. This is a comedy. And so, man, when I say something's funny, it is. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And everybody who's been to see it, 9.9 out of 10 have absolutely loved it. So congrats to Adam Sandler.
Yay.
So back to Redneck. Has it been shown in other countries? Are you selling it worldwide?
No, so some people over in Wales just got it.
In Wales?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. The UK hadn't got it all the way.
Because we don't really use the term redneck. We understand hillbilly,
Right.
but you've kind of taught us the word redneck. This term is going global.
This is, you know, when the term can go global, you've done a great job for awareness. Yeah. And I only know, I get people from Canada who follow me, and I'll be tweeting about the show, and they got redneck, they got CMT Canada, and it's season 3 already, and they still haven't shown season 1 over here. I don't know. That's just our neighbors to the north. Why do they not show, you know, Redneck Island on the same network over in Canada? I don't understand it.
Oh, that's strange. It's funny that Wales has picked it up, not England, but then I would say redneck and hillbillies would be more likely to be the Welsh, so... That's where I'm from.
They're the cool
From
ones.
the valleys, you know, where the drinkers and the farmers.
Just think about it. You know, like I'm from South Texas. My buddy Diamond Dallas Page, his nickname for me is Redneck. Has been for 10 years. Redneck. But if somebody says, "Oh, that damn hillbilly Austin," hey, you take offense to that. Ain't no hillbilly. Hillbilly is different than redneck.
Oh, tell me, go on, explain it to me, because I don't know. I just Wikipedia'd.
I don't know either. Like,
no. I Wikipedia'd redneck when I first came on board this, because I had to understand what redneck is. I'm Welsh, so we call it valleys. But I can tell you, redneck on Wikipedia is hillbilly. So explain, what's the difference?
Right, no, that's interesting. Yeah, well, you think hillbillies, you think more, you know, North Carolina, maybe Kentucky. But and redneck is more like I would think redneck to me is kind of more
a way of life.
Yeah, outdoor loving,
Hunting,
like a simple life
fishing, kind of thing.
When I think, see, this you know, to the hillbillies, this might piss them off. I think of hillbillies, I think, kind of laid back, maybe a little bit lazy. Redneck, hardworking, got the sunburn on the back of their neck because they're always out there plowing the crops and working and paying the bills, stuff like that.
Redneck,
Yeah, that's just my spin, but I'm from Texas, so you know I do the redneck thing. I don't get the hillbilly thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff. It's good.
Yeah. See, your show has enlightened your viewers. Isn't that great?
I can go back to
Got that
Wales.
going for me.
I can go back to Wales now in the UK, and I can already prepare them before they get this show.
Yeah, watch out. It's going to be hilarious. Oh, now, we talked about your 1.5 million followers on Twitter. Do you have a Facebook presence? Do you work Facebook like you do Twitter?
Well, that's what Liz and I were talking about. My buddy, Brian Bentley, at TweeterDumb, he's the one that set up my Facebook account. I got a Facebook for Steve Austin BSR, and I got one for Steve Austin Show. But I don't know how to get to them because I just got them hooked up to my Twitter account, and then it feeds it. So yeah, I'm there, and then somebody can you believe this? There was another guy named Steve Austin, and he already has that Facebook, so that's not me. And there's all kinds of imposters out there, but yeah, I do have a presence. I don't know how to work it. I don't barely know how to talk about it. Like Melissa and I were talking earlier. So see, she does hers different. She works her Facebook, which feeds her Twitter. I work my Twitter, which feeds my Facebook, because it's just too much technology for me.
I've only learned about Twitter because of you, Angelina. You wanted me to get on Twitter, and it's only the last month that I've been talking on Twitter or tweeting.
Yeah. No, you've been doing a great job.
I'm learning.
Great job. Now, you know, Steve's also very active on a website called BrokenSkullRanch.com, and he is a fantastic writer. If you have a chance to read his blogs, you've been blogging for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, but I haven't been blogging enough. That's the thing. I need to be more active on that website. That's the biggest thing about it. I started that thing as a way to, you know, stay in touch with my fan base, and haven't done as good a job as I need to. But yeah, I do enjoy writing, and I write just exactly the way I talk.
Right.
And I enjoy that process. So I need to start writing more. Well, but it is BrokenSkullRanch.com. And I'm working on kind of retooling the whole entire merch thing there. That's a work in progress, which it never was really official too much to begin with, but it's a work in progress. But I appreciate you mentioning that.
Your fans love your merchandise. I'm always seeing like tweets of fans in your clothes, your hats, and girls wearing, you know, your female line. And I mean, you've done a fantastic job on.
I've got to, you know, I got to have a little help on the female side, because I'm like, you know, I'm trying to think. Okay, Broken Skull Ranch. Do chicks want to buy this stuff? I mean, I know guys are guys.
Yeah.
Like I was saying to Steve Austin show, guys are stupid. Don't buy one of these shirts. You know, if we want to look cool and be badass, all you can do is buy the shirt. But I don't know how a female thinks. You know, do they want to be badass, sexy, cute, cool?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything. I think there's so many different groups of girls. There would be girls that want the sexy. It's a huge market.
Yeah.
What color shirt would I start off with?
Pink. I see two girls.
That's right.
Say
pink with a skull. So badass.
Pink with a skull.
Yeah.
My friend, I have a friend, Ashley, who she knew about you way before I did, because I didn't follow wrestling and stuff. And I told
your mum probably didn't let you.
Well, no, she kept it. She was hiding it until I was like 16. I had no idea. Anyway, I recently told her. I said, "Though this is going to be fun. We're going to be speaking to the host of Redneck Island." And she's like, "Oh, who's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's going to be Steve Austin." She went, "Oh my God, I have all of his shirts. I'm like, I follow him like crazy." And I was like, "Oh, you're that into Redneck Island?"
No, talk about a loyal fan base.
Yeah, but you do, and she's brought up a lot of other friends and stuff, and you do have a really good following, and they always love it when you come up with different show ideas and podcasts and stuff.
Oh my God, speaking of show ideas.
That's where I was going with this. Yeah.
That's so awesome. We were thinking the other day, because we love seeing you in Redneck Island. You're an amazing host, you're off the cuff, you're funny. So we thought, if we could develop show ideas, what shows would we put Steve Austin in? Would you like to hear a couple titles?
I would love to hear them.
I helped with some of these, by the way.
Okay.
Steve Austin, the Shark Whisperer.
Oh, man, I tell you what, I could work with that one. I'd be out there in my shark suit, swimming around. I got those little spear guns. I'm in a big cage, so the shark can't get me.
Yeah. Let's put you in a cage.
Brilliant. That's money.
Like
That's
got
money right
chum
there.
everywhere with a CGF factor of 10.
Oh my God.
All right, what's
Okay.
another one?
Another one is I just thought this would be absolutely hilarious. Steve Austin, the nanny, like for Nanny 911.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, I can work with that. I could change a diaper. Now, the thing about it is,
No.
It's bratty kids.
It's bratty kids.
Kids
Bratty
that
kids.
can't be
It's
controlled.
controlling kids. Yeah, Nanny 911.
Would
so
you
I don't have to change diapers.
No, you don't have
No.
to change a diaper, but if someone called and said, "Steve, these kids aren't listening, can you come over here?" And
Yeah, give them a little bottom line. That's what you're saying. See, I can work with this. And I drive a real fast car, and it's four-wheel drive, because if there's an emergency and there's muddy situations or whatever, I've got to be able to get there to help these people out, right? I can work with this one, too.
Show up in a big monster truck, yeah.
CMT needs to be listening to this podcast, because we are giving them gold right
Gold.
now. Okay, here's one that I want to throw at you. There is a reality show on Bravo, and it's called Interior Therapy, where you would go in. It's called, I would like to name it Interior Therapy with Steve Austin, where you go into these beautiful posh houses, and you just make it like redneck. You go in and you make sure that it's user friendly for the working man.
Beers in the fridge.
Beers in the fridge. Big TV where the couch was. I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of red, white, and blue. There's deer horns everywhere.
Yes.
You got a big ass TV.
See, my thought on this was, and I was telling my mom this, I said, you're going to get in and get rid of all the unnecessary stuff. You're walking, what's that? Oh, we just have it there for aesthetics. Get rid of it.
You don't need aesthetics. I mean, it's got to be safe. I mean, you can use a deer head for aesthetics. That's all the aesthetics you need. We got a couple of these little gimmicks. My wife has this thing. It's like a vase with a bunch of sticks in it. I'm like, what the hell is that for? A vase with a bunch of sticks in it. And I said, we don't need that, but we still have the vase with the sticks in it.
That's bringing the outside in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think what's really funny is part of our team, the PP Boys, I don't know whether you've seen them, they're our co-hosts on other weeks. They actually are so funny. They were just on this interior therapy show, and in fact, I think they're on the phone for us.
Oh, you're kidding. They're calling in to say hi?
I think so.
Okay.
Hey guys, are you there?
Of course we wouldn't miss calling in to you guys. Live from New York.
Woohoo!
I'm missing out on a champagne party just for you guys.
Fashion Week in New York, and I hope that's going well for you guys. Thank you for calling in. I wanted, do you want to ask Steve anything or say anything while you have the chance?
I want Steve to tell me if he's been following me and what he thinks about the job that the PP Boys have done for Redneck Island.
Oh, Steve hasn't been watching Redneck Island. He hasn't been watching our podcast, but maybe now that he's on our show, maybe he'll tune in next week.
I will now. I will be able to tell you before the show's over, the season's over, how you're doing. And can I go back and watch old episodes?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will go back and watch old episodes, do my due diligence and research, and file a report with you.
The good news is...
Steve, I want to know who... This is Patrick. Hello.
Hello.
I want to know who picked the location of Redneck Island. Was that you?
Yes, it was. I make all the decisions on this show. I pick the cast, I pick the location, I make the challenges.
The beer.
Everything. We learned so much, you guys. Can't wait for you to tune into this show.
Enjoy New York, guys. And the good news is, I think Steve Austin said he's going to come back, so he'll be here when you're here.
Hopefully, yeah.
Can't wait to meet Snow White.
Oh, that's their little dog. They have a little dog.
Okay. Well, I'm a dog lover.
All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy New York.
Bye.
Look forward to meeting you.
Kisses from New York.
Okay. You know, so yeah, it's awesome to watch TV, and I would like to go back to like the topic of picking show ideas, because I have one more that
One more, yes.
Yeah, and this is because of your podcast. You have been mentioning on your podcast that you have been lately watching Benny Hinn, which actually I thought you meant Benny Hill, which got me all excited because I love Benny Hill.
I love Benny Hill.
I was like, he watches Benny Hill too? But it was Benny Hinn, who's an evangelist, just so you know. So here is the next title. Airing on Sundays only. It's called 316. With your host, the evangelist Steve Austin. Would you like that?
Now that's it. Now you're talking.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could be like the redneck Joel Osteen, spreading the word. And I don't exactly know what the word would be, but we would be spreading the word every single Sunday, collecting money.
That's right.
I know what the word would be. No beer gut, no glory.
No beer gut, no glory. You could be taking an offering. It'd be like for the great, the beer fund that I would need to stay happy doing the 316 show.
And I want to see some healing. Would you do some
if there's one thing I love to do, is to heal a sunbuck up. Heal! Did you see that video I put out on Twitter the other day? Benny Hinn was pushing at the forehead push, and people just taking bumps. I would have got some color for him. I'd have told him, put him, Benny, I'll charge you. Put me in a dang sleeper.
Wouldn't that have been awesome?
These are just things he's going to be going home to his wife with so many stories.
Yeah.
We could make that last one happen. I could work with all of them, guys. If anybody's out there listening, want to do the shark gimmick or the other ones. But this last one, the 316, you call it?
All right.
Yeah.
Austin 316. Yeah, it's called airing on Sundays. It's just called 316.
And normally I like to take a Sunday off, but for this show, I'll work it. Well, let's do it, and then we put it on Sunday. That'd be all. I can still have Sunday off.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, but we want to make it a shoot. I want to work live on Sunday.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? I have to ask this because I've got fitness fans that follow me. How often do you go to the gym? How are you working out?
Well, right now I hadn't been working out too much. I had a few setbacks, but to answer your question, normally 5-6 days a week. I'm normally in there for about an hour, and then if I'm doing good, I'll get about 30 minutes of cardio. So 1.5 hours a day.
And you've got to be a Gold's Gym fan, right?
No, I live about 2 miles from Gold's. I've been training there for many years, but I started training in a little bit of hole-in-the-wall place while I was healing up my shoulder from a couple of years ago. I had that thing worked on, and then I just kind of got away from Gold's, but I'm fixing to make my comeback. Those of you at Gold's in Venice, get ready. Stone Cold Steve Austin is making his comeback. Like, they're going to be all excited about that. Anyway, I traded a little hole in the wall just to maintain. And I can take Hershey. I have a key to the place. I can take her in, and she just chills while I work out.
Oh, speaking of Hershey, you travel with Hershey, is that right?
Yeah, I just drove down to South Texas in my Suburban, and I was actually going to sleep in my Suburban. I told my wife, we'll just pull over on the side of the road because we sold our RV. I am a real redneck. That's why I host this show.
I gotta get an RV.
But we sold our RV, so we just SUV'd it, and I got that brand new Suburban that I traded that guy for. And so we stayed at the worst dirt box hotel that we could find, and we'd go in and take our stuff in and go back. But yeah, Hershey goes everywhere with me that I go
awesome.
when she can.
That is so awesome.
Great name too.
Yeah, and she's a lab, and you just got a new lab puppy, right?
Man, that dog is. I named her Moolah.
I thought that was so cool. That's just a legend in the wrestling industry and being one of the pioneers in female wrestling. So she's a legend.
Okay, cool.
Way cool.
She's a silver lab, and you talk about she has got so much energy. I'm gonna need a transfusion or something. I picked a bad day to quit amphetamines when we got that dog. I need more energy, and we're just now teaching how to potty train, so that's coming along good. And she loves Redneck Island. It's on Saturdays on CMT. Oh no, I'm sorry.
On Saturdays.
8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern.
Is there a wrap-up party for Redneck Island?
Yeah.
Ooh,
wow. Did you already have it, or are you waiting till the end of the show?
No, we already had it.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, because Steve, in this show, when you send someone packing, when they have to leave, we're hearing from the cast that they actually leave. They get back on a plane and they go back home. There's no waiting to buddy, or do you have a few moments to where you slap them on, pat them on the back? Or?
When I shake their hand, send them on down the road, and they're gone.
Wow.
I hire a Learjet to pick their ass up ASAP and get them off the island. I was kidding you. They leave very promptly, though.
Every time.
Bye-bye.
So bad, every time.
Well, I think, it's really interesting with the cast, season 3 cast, they've really formed a bond with each other. They do all sorts of Facebooking together.
Every morning they group chat each other in their season 3.
Currently they do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's good to hear because we've, it's interesting. That first bunch it rolled in, I don't know how engaged in the social media they are. And this season, the group was a little bit younger. And so, more maybe tech savvy, even for rednecks. But it's always good to hear from season 1, 2, 3, when these people kind of, they've competed against each other, but come to know each other and have bonded and formed friendships that will last, for as long as they last.
And it seems like it's gonna, because these people have banded together and formed, a really
and one
nice
of the
family.
really nice things is all of them keep saying again and again, they are aware this was a game. So even though we do see some nasty wordplay back and forth, they seem to, and I'm guessing this is part of redneck culture, be really forgiving of some of the things they say back and forth.
Well, that was one of the things that was interesting, in doing this show. I would hear a lot of people, when I'm fixing to go out and do an elimination, I'm getting ready, getting mic'd up. And they're like, man, these people are so nice, because they're used to a lot of the reality shows where people are like almost stabbing knives in each other's backs, and they're just ready to just do anything to win. And it's been different with these people because they're friendly with each other, and that's just kind of the way people from the country are.
Right.
And it's
great,
true.
yeah.
That's what they call it, Southern hospitality. That's,
right.
Liz, it's a new thing for you, but Southern hospitality.
That was good.
That's why. I mean, that's why Steve wants to look around the rest of the country, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I'll tell you, a lot of people want to be on that show.
Yeah, but my point is, again, rednecks aren't just from the South; they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And I want to see they're just other people representing other states.
Well, Patrick, one of our hosts, says that he is actually a redneck because his parents are from the South. Does that qualify?
Does he like the outdoors?
No?
No, he likes Beverly Hills parties.
Nah, it's City Slicker. But we can start a show. City Slicker Island.
That would be awesome.
That would be so much fun. Yeah.
I will get a four-wheel drive Corvette and host this one too.
Oh my.
I'm wondering, could you do that, Angelina?
You know
Actually,
what?
I'm going to throw you under the bus right here. You said you wouldn't survive in any of these shows because your hair would go gray.
That's right. My
She said
roots
that
would
live,
crumb it.
so I could do it.
Yeah, 10 days, I'm out in 10 days. I have a little watch. I would set it because once those roots started coming in, I would do something to get eliminated. But it would have to be, it'd have to go over big. I mean, I'd have to just really do something spectacular because I want to leave with a bang and then go get my roots done.
Yeah, maybe there should be a high maintenance equivalent.
Well, we'd have to up the budget and have to fly in a professional to take care of these roots. It might depend on the success of the show.
That's why it would be so great with Steve as the host, because he wouldn't allow, you'd be watching people go crazy from their hairs not being done and the roots not
Nails,
being straightened.
tan, all the tan would be covered.
Hey, here's an interesting fun fact that only an insider like myself would know. I shave every single day when I'm filming Redneck Island. Now, I'm just saying that because I hate to shave. Like, I'm probably 2 days out right now. I didn't get all gussied up for you guys. But I shave every single day for that show, and I can't stand to shave. When deer season comes, I grew a beard out. My wife was moaning, and she was so damn mad I grew a beard out. I thought it looked pretty damn cool. But anyway, so that's it. There's no more. I shave every day when I do the show just so I can look pretty for the camera.
Oh, that's so nice.
really
You were
nice,
talking about, you know, getting your first mani-pedi your wife made you before going out to Redneck Island, before they started the show. Have you decided that you enjoyed that experience?
No,
It was no, you know what? It was interesting. When I first went that first time, and she said, you have got to get your nails done before you go do Redneck Island if you're going to be on camera. So I reluctantly said, okay. And that was the first time I ever had anybody scrubbing around on my feet, and, you know, with hands that weren't mine. So anyway, so I was kind of like, man, I hope one of my buddies don't drive by, because there's always that big glass window right there. If one of my buddies drive by and sees me in there getting a manicure, pedicure, that's going to go down for my reputation. So anyway, she said, you know what, you got to get your nails done again. She goes, come on, let's go get a mani-pedi. And I said, no, I said, I did one. I said, I ain't going again. She goes, you can talk about it on your podcast. So now, anytime she wants me to do something, she goes, you can talk about it on your podcast. My wife is smart. Guys are stupid. So there I was, getting a mani-pedi again.
That photo of you in the pedicure chair would be so worth it, wouldn't it? Can you imagine how much money you'd make from that photo?
This time was so different. I was able to kind of let my hair down, so to speak. I almost had like a Zen experience.
Well,
I think they're trying to wrap us up now.
But they shouldn't, because we want to do more. We have a lot more questions for you, but I get it. It's time sensitive. So, Steve, for the viewers and the listeners out there, where can we find you, and where can we find your show?
You find me at Steve Austin BSR on Twitter. You can check me out at BrokenSkullRanch.com, and you can also check out the Steve Austin Show. It's a hell-raising show that'll teach you how to get through life and how to survive, and a bunch of BS like that. That sounds good. It's a bunch of BS is what it is. That's on iTunes and at podcast1.com.
Liz, where can we find you?
Right here, talking about Redneck Island. No, everywhere, I guess. Liz_Fuller Twitter, Liz Fuller. I don't know, wherever. Just find me.
Jacob?
Well, once again, the catfish is not on social media at the moment.
Catfish is...
Come on, catfish!
Do you know, somebody probably took your Twitter name already.
Dang, that's a great one.
Yeah.
And I am your host, Little Egypt. You can find me on Twitter at Little Egypt, Facebook, the official page of Little Egypt. Facebook, Glow, my first name, Little Egypt, my second name. Please tune in every week for another episode of Redneck Island, where we're going to break down the show, and next week our guest is going to be Candy.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And I just want to say real quick before we go, I'm honored to be here, and I just so excited to have you as a guest. So it was.
Well, I had a good time talking to you. You represented yourself very well. Everybody did here. And I was like, how's this cat gonna do? You were awesome. So congrats to you. I take my hat off to you. And I got one question to ask you before we go off the air, Little Egypt. You were walking around a while ago, and you were not walking like an Egyptian.
Oh, okay. Here's the deal. It's easy to. I used to do it all the time. Okay, but then I started getting carpal tunnel because when you hold your hand a certain way for too long, and then my neck started giving out because I had to keep my neck at a certain way in order to really sell it. So.
With that being said, ambidextrous was almost going to be my word of the day. Can you walk like an Egyptian with both hands?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh my God.
So would you be right-handed or left-handed in front?
I would be left.
Left-handed front?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Left-handed
Yeah.
Egyptian.
Yeah,
Got it.
left-handed.
To those of you that know, you get it. To those of you who don't, sit there and scratch your head.
It doesn't matter. Thanks for tuning in. And Steve, again, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys all for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we get claps.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Those are the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.